One of the things that I've always loved about tiny houses is the sense of coziness that they can elicit. And here in Victoria, we've found the most adorable cottage-style tiny home that really takes that to the next level. Hi Lana, how are you?
Thanks, Bryce. How are you?
Very well, thank you. So nice to meet you. G'day David, how you doing, mate?
Nice to meet you.
It is so lovely to meet you both, and this is the most charming home that you've built yourselves.
Thank you.
And we're on your own land right now. This is an incredible property.
Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, we bought it in 2019. It was 25 acres and yeah, we enjoy it.
Amazing. How did you find this spot?
I'm from New South Wales originally, and we decided that we wanted to live somewhere near Melbourne, but we didn't know where. So we took a couple of months off and we went camping. And we arrived here and I was like, this is the spot. And Dave kind of looked at me like I was a bit mad. And we went to the real estate agent. There was a bit of land for sale and we drove out here and everything just kept falling into place. We made an offer, it was accepted, it was subject to planning, we got planning.
We didn't think it would be accepted, but it was.
Yeah. And so everything just kept kind of happening and we're like, well, we'll just keep testing it. And it just kept working. And so here we are.
And 25 acres, that really is a great chunk of land. Already I can see you've been hard at work improving the property and doing lots of planting around the place.
Yeah, we have about 50 fruit trees in the ground. I mean, we planted more, but you know, they perish.
Right.
And we have about an acre around the house under a market garden. It's a great opportunity, but it's a lot of land to take care of as well.
Yeah. Certainly a lot of work, but very rewarding work at the same time. And you've already done a phenomenal job developing around the house. I see you've got some beautiful gardens there. You've got the polytunnel. You've done a lot of work here already.
Yeah, we think we haven't finished the tiny house or, you know, it's been a long time going, but there's been all this other work that's happened around the house.
Yeah.
We're learning on the job for both the house and the garden.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we're amateurs of both. Yeah.
And you named your tiny house River after the TV show River Cottage, which I just absolutely love because River Cottage was such a formative show for me as well. It was probably where I first found my love for homesteading. So I just love that you've named your tiny house that.
Yeah, there kind of was no other name when we decided, like, we wanted to go for like Australian Federation, kind of cottagey feel, and Dave has loved Hugh Farnley Wedding Store forever, and so I was just like, we just need to call this River Cottage. So yeah. River is the name.
Yeah, I love him too. He's like my spirit animal.
Yeah, no, he's a hero, and like, we're trying to create an entire kind of lifestyle. His show is, I suppose, the model. You know, you learn along the way, and I mean, we have, like, our skills have increased exponentially, and yeah, it's been enjoyable.
Yeah, absolutely. And the house, this is just absolutely gorgeous. You bought the land here, so what was it that inspired you to build a tiny house here? Because you could have built a conventional home.
Mm-hmm. We wanted to get on the land quickly.
Yeah, within 2 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So it was a kind of an efficiency that way, and we thought we would build it, you know, relatively quickly. I think I don't recall saying 2 weeks, but Lon was under the impression it was 2 weeks. And yeah, and it was so that we could move here quickly and we could experience living on the land because, like, I think the location, the climate, that has had a huge effect on decisions we've made about the house. And also, like, I was interested in the building experience, like to actually, you know, build a house. Lana always, all through our relationship, she spoke about her, cabin in the woods. I mean, we didn't get the woods. There's not many trees on this property.
But not
yet.
Woods yeah. in Australia.
Yeah, but our own home built by ourselves, like, that was really appealing. Yeah, so it was efficient, it was practical, and it was an adventure.
And the home itself is just adorable. You've really captured that cottage aesthetic.
Yeah, thank you. We found lots of replicas of things that we could kind of add, like the finials on the end and trim and the bullnose and the colours even down to like Federation style. And so, yeah, there was like a lot of things that we didn't know about before that kind of lead to a general aesthetic.
As we were designing the tiny house, it's a box. Unless you do something different, it's going to look like a rectangular box. And so the details, like the finials, the mouldings, the eaves brackets, the bullnose, the dropping of the middle section, that was all done to create a bit of visual interest. And like the pink colour is quite popular around the neighbourhood.
But everyone asks why I chose to paint it pink, and it was
yeah,
actually
indeed.
Dave's decision to paint
Right.
it.
No, it was it was
You were quick to back out of that one.
No, I mean, absolutely, I love it. I'm the biggest defender of the colour now when people ask me about it. But it was the landscape chose it. So we had like 3 or 4 colours. We painted boards, put them out in the landscape as we were building the house to see which would be the least conspicuous. And the pink throughout the year actually stood out the least, was like fit in most with the landscape.
You're so right about that colour pink though as well. When you think of this kind of landscape, pink isn't the immediate colour that would come to mind, but it really works here.
Yeah, it really does, yeah.
And you built this home yourselves. Have you ever done anything like this before?
Before this, Dave had built a chicken coop and a bedboard for the back of our car to go camping. So this is a little bit of an upgrade.
Yeah. I'm impressed with Lana for her faith, because I often say to her, like, can you believe that, we built a house? And she's like, Dave, you built that chicken coop beforehand, and it was really like a Fort Knox of chicken coops.
It sounds like a fantastic coop.
It was, yeah. It had a slate roof and the whole thing, but yeah, that was the extent of my carpentry experience before now.
I couldn't hold a hammer, so we've come a long way.
Yeah,
You certainly have.
yeah. And look, I have to thank yourselves, but like YouTube in general and the Australian Home Builders Guide. It has the A to Z of how to build a house in there, and the guys up at Mitre 10. They gave me huge amounts of advice, and they were really generous. I think they kind of found it amusing. People they want to help, and they're very generous with their time and their knowledge. And you can kind of figure it out, but also there's people there to help you when you're a little bit lost.
Yeah. It is one of the things that I genuinely love about the tiny house movement, that it has emboldened people to build their own homes who probably never would have given it a shot otherwise.
Yeah, my grandfather built his own home, and I thought that was just like magic. I never thought that would be my story as well. And to be fair, without Dave, it probably wouldn't be. But it's been a fun journey to go on.
Yeah, it's a life skill. I mean, shelter's pretty essential, so it's good to be able to manage it yourself.
You are so right about that. So the trailer's 7.5 meters long. What size is the house overall?
We extended a small bit over the tow bar, so overall it's about 9 meters in length. The trailer that we got, the next trailer up, was as long as we've effectively got here, but it was like 30% heavier because, it's a steel trailer. Yeah, so these overhangs, and they're more efficient in weight, and they kind of stretched, got an extra couple of square meters. So it's 27 square meters all up. And I think probably 6 of that is from the overhangs and things like that. So yeah, that was helpful.
It sure is. Well, I am already just absolutely enamored by what you've built here, and I am so excited to see what you've done inside. Can we have a look?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. This is fantastic. You have built so much character into this home.
Thank you. Yeah, it's kind of evolved over time. I think living in it and like really understanding what we wanted around us, because I'm very nostalgic and sentimental. So like little kind of tchotchkes is important to me. We also drink wine and we like coffee. There's kind of lots of stuff everywhere that kind of reminds us of our journey and our pasts and our love of food and wine.
Yeah. Every square centimetre you see an opportunity. It's like we could get storage in there, or, we could get that appliance we wanted or whatever. And so like it's almost been a small bit of a challenge in a way. But yeah, no, it's worked out really well.
I think there's this misnomer that you have to be minimalist to live in a tiny house. I don't think you have to be minimalist. I think you have to be intentional.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When we first started talking about a tiny house and like I was looking at your videos and stuff, I was like, I have a lot of stuff. Am I going to be able to like function in a tiny house with like the things that I like to have around me? And yes is the answer.
Yeah.
Just the attention to detail in here and all of the quirky little factors. Like immediately my eye is drawn to that really cool little hobbit nook up there.
Thank you. I've kind of requested some novelty. I really like novelty. So the hobbit hole kind of came about because there was a hole that needed to be filled and it felt really boring to just put another piece of wood there. So I've never tried doing anything miniature before, but I was like, I'm going to give it a crack so that we can have a hobbit hole in our house and not just another bit of wood.
Yeah. I think it like spurs creativity, because you do end up with these peculiar shaped holes or problems or whatever, and I mean you're the only person who's responsible for fixing them, so you come up with innovative solutions. And the porthole in the shower is why have it, but also why not? I mean, like we needed light in the shower, it's a small room, and so yeah, we got a porthole off a boat.
Yeah, I think it's so important to have fun when you're designing and building and to really make a space your own.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The layout in here is really nicely done too. I love the way that you enter the home and immediately come into this very cozy little lounge.
Because we've been living in it whilst building it, that corner has seen many different iterations, and that is by far my favourite.
Yeah.
When it doesn't become a dumping ground for stuff as you walk into the house. You'll notice it's kind of skinnier on one side and bigger on the other, and that occurred whilst we were building it, because we were like, we'd really like to share the couch with our dog. Well, dog at the time, now dogs. So we kind of measured up her bed and made one side of the couch that width so that she'd be comfortable lying up on the couch with us.
Yeah.
Great.
And you find it quite comfortable as well?
I love that side of the couch.
Nice when you can build something for the dogs, but also enjoy it yourselves.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, the dogs have, living with 2 Labradors, there's a lot of accommodations in here for them.
Yetta, our first dog, she has been in this house since day one. So a lot of the things that we've built and thought about have occurred because she's been a part of the journey of building the house.
Yeah.
And then lots going on in this part of the home. This looks like a very multifunctional space.
Yeah, it does. It has a lot of functions. We both love food and cooking. So the house kind of was built from the kitchen back. So when we kind of decided to build this really long bench in the middle, it was to be a workspace, but also to eat at, to make pasta, to do prep. Whoever was the sous chef could be out here cutting while the person in the kitchen was cooking. And so it's meant to be a multifunctional space, but based mostly around food.
But like this, we call this the Tower of Power because it does so much work. So that we ended up with this kind of really awkward space between the cantina and the kitchen. We didn't want them to run into each other. And then there's a gap you can see up there. And so we were like, well, storage is always important. And we made this, floor to, ceiling storage / barista's station / kitchen island and / dog drawer. Every piece of space is doing like multiple functions, like is working incredibly hard.
And up in the fun loft, it then turns into shelving for current craft projects, so like a dump shelf essentially, and a print shelf, and so like the whole thing helps us throughout the whole house.
It's a small piece of space, but you can see how much can be done with it. So, and it's the same here. This could just be a corridor, but instead it's a dining area. And the stairs is functioning as storage. The steps are storage. There's storage all underneath it.
I actually find that because the stairs are in the center of the house, most people, instead of coming in and sitting on the couch or sitting on the stools, come and sit on the stairs. So the stairs have really become like a part of the sitting and the kind of communing part of the house.
Yeah.
The design of these stairs is really great. I love the way that you've built that tower, though. That's just so unique. I think it makes a really great focal point for the house as well.
Yeah, we call this the atrium because it's the ceiling's high, but it's really doing a lot of heavy lifting. And we have a kitchen island. I don't think many people have that in a tiny house.
And the fun loft sounds awesome. What do you have going on up there?
That's Lana's creation.
Yeah, so when we decided we were going to build a second loft, it was going to be, the office. But as kind of time went on, I was like, it should really be like a part where I really like crafting, and Dave likes, model aeroplanes and welding and all that kind of stuff. So it really needs to be a part of like the fun part of the house. So I started terming it the fun loft in its construction. And that's kind of dictated everything since, as you'll see on the carpet and like some of the decorations. Like everything up there is meant to be about fun.
We sit down and play board games on the floor and whatever. But also when we have people to stay, they sleep there. It's a home office. We both work from home. So there's another computer up there. So we have 2 computers in the house so we can work simultaneously. But again, that could just have a single function like a spare sleeping loft. But instead it's doing like 5 different things.
And I absolutely love the design of your kitchen. That just looks like the coziest, best space to cook in.
Yeah, it kind of evolved. I think we're really lucky in that we have been living in this house while we've constructed most of the interior. When we moved in, we literally had a camping table over in the corner. There was no kitchen sink. We had to do the dishes in the bathroom. But as a result, we've kind of really understood how we like to cook. And so it may look like there's all these kind of little nooks, but it's the easiest place I've ever, I really like baking. Dave really likes cooking. And it's just like the easiest space to do everything, making bread, making pastries, making every night dinner. It's just an absolute pleasure to be in there, and everything's kind of at fingertips. We have everything we need.
In terms of the way we've laid out the counters there, it's a small space. So you really have to really study where are you going to get your counter area for? Is it going to be enough? And we ended up with a large usable space that has a lot of utility. And, there's nothing we can't cook in there.
Brilliant. I love the way that you have tackled the storage in this house as well. That ceiling storage especially is super interesting.
Well, we have you to thank for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a video from, gosh, it'd be like 7 years ago now, a woman in California, her and her daughter.
Yeah.
And like when you walked through the house in the kitchen, it was just all like the drop-down storage. And I was just like, that is genius. Because like you're not going to put insulation. Like this is one room essentially. So like what a great way to kind of get in storage. And so we've kind of dotted them throughout the house. We have the ones in the kitchen for food, obviously, at the front door for shoes. So you can immediately take them off and not walk shoes through the house. And then we have one in the bathroom for, storage overflow.
Fantastic. Yeah. What I love about making these videos is knowing that they go out into the world and that people like you pick up the ideas and build them into your space and create wonderful things like this. I find that really humbling. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and it's a testament to these people. The amount of creativity that goes into a tiny home is incredible. Yeah, like I said earlier, this ability to build this thing yourself, this empowerment that you have to choose solutions that you find interesting or borrow ideas.
Yeah, I completely agree. I absolutely love all of the shelving and the display storage that you have in here and all of the room for books as well. This is so great.
Thank you, yeah. I'm a very sentimental person. So like every single thing in here has like a story. A lot of it is our journey. We've been together for 13 years. So like there's a lot of things that we've accumulated in our travels and all the different places we've lived. And we're both big lovers of books. I think when we travel, we go to bookstores and supermarkets more than anything else.
I'm the same. I do that too.
Which is a silly thing to do when you're getting on a plane.
Yeah. But we've worked out how to manage that.
Both these shelves here, like they're two-sided. So on the back of them is the storage for the room that they're in. Like it's kind of wonderful. Like it would be idle space otherwise. And here it's shelving and it's alive with their memories and things like that.
Yeah. What are your favorite books in your collection?
Oh, Jesus.
I mean,
you should have signposted that. I don't know.
I think there's like books that we have from our travels. So there's a cookbook shop in New York called Bonnie Slotnick's, and we really like New York Jewish food, like bialys and bagels and lox and all that kind of stuff. Very hard to find in rural Victoria. So we've bought a lot of those books back that like we absolutely love. And then I've been reading a lot of novels since the pandemic. Yeah. We have a few Lord of the Rings and Hobbits everywhere.
Yeah, nice.
My favourite author is displayed up on one specific shelf, Robin Hobb. So
Robin Hobb is my favourite fantasy author too.
No. Nice.
Yeah, the Fastia trilogy.
Yes!
Absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's superb.
Yeah.
It's superb.
Yeah,
it's my
the Fastia trilogy got me into fantasy. It should have been Lord of the Rings, but it was Fastia trilogy that really pulled me in.
There you go. This is the Robin Hobb house.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Maybe it's why I feel so good in here.
Indeed.
And next up, we've got the bathroom. Can we have a look in there?
Absolutely.
Yeah, please.
Oh, again, this is such an adorable room. I love the colour in here, and what are those photos?
Yeah, that's me. I saw somebody on Instagram do it and I thought it was hilarious.
It's hilarious.
So I decided that we would add that to our bathroom.
Yeah. Are your dogs very proud of their portraits?
Absolutely not. If you look closely at her face, there is a real look of like disgust and shame.
What are you doing, Mum?
Yeah, pretty much. But I thought it was worth it. I like the black and white as well. It kind of like leads people in like, oh, nice photo. What the hell? So I enjoy that a lot.
I love that. Very cool. You've got the composting toilet here?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We do.
It did take a bit of convincing or, to adapt to the concept. But, having used it now for a good few years, it's brilliant.
The tile work in here is exquisite. I love the pattern on the floor.
Thank you. One downside to building in 2020 was not being able to go and select things. And I had a really specific thing in my mind. There are tiles on floors in some of my favorite bakeries and eateries in Brooklyn, in New York. And I was determined to have that pattern in our bathroom, which became impossible to find in Australia. So we did one really stupid thing in this house and we ordered these from America.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Of all things to order from America as well, because tiles are heavy.
Exactly. Although, one of the virtues of building a tiny house is that, it's the same with the hardwood floors in main part of downstairs. The areas are so small. We only needed a pack and that was enough for in here.
It means a lot to have it here, but it also meant that this room turned into the New York room, as you'll see with some of the decorations. Yeah. So, everything kind of started with the tiles.
I really like the shower door too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I really like reclaimed materials, and a lot of this house is not reclaimed materials. So where I could kind of insert that, I did. So I bought these off Facebook Marketplace and was like, hey, Dave, can we make a door with these? And Dave kind of brought it to life.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And having the water-saving shower, what a great feature, especially here in Australia where you can have these really long, dry, hot summers.
Yeah, absolutely. I love showers a lot. And Dave was saying that we were going to have 4-minute showers. Like that would be all we could manage with our water tank. And so when I saw your video on the Nebbia, I did a lot of research, and it uses 50% of the water. So I was like, well, that turns it into an 8-minute shower. So we can work with that.
Yeah, some of those extreme water-saving shower heads just feel like you're being peed on by a kitten or something, whereas the Nebbia, it is quite an immersive, nice experience.
Yeah.
So. And bedroom is upstairs. Can we have a peek at that?
Yes, please.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. Again, I just love how I can walk into each and every room in your home and it's just so filled with character.
Thank
I
you.
love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, one of the things Dave said when we first met was like how he liked how I had little kind of bits and pieces stuck all over the house. And I've managed to continue that in every house we've lived in, including this one. So yeah, there's a little bit of us in every room.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a home.
And I'm still on a lean up here, but you're both standing up. This is a high, tiny house, isn't it?
It is. It was measured exactly to us.
It's with these kind of like temporary, not temporary, but like additions on top of the common wall for the house. So, you know, if we were to relocate it in the future, or if it had to go like be towed on the road, with, you know, a modest amount of work, we could lower the roof. So we kept that option open, in other words.
That's such a great way of doing it, though, because you own this land. This is a home which is going to be here for a very, very long time. And so prioritizing your comfort in the home over the ability to very, very occasionally, if ever, move it on the road is exactly the right approach to take.
Absolutely. Yeah. If I was to build a second tiny house, so that would be the first question I would ask is how many times I'm going to move it. And if it's only once or twice, well, then it needs to function more like a demountable. So it could go in the back of a large articulated truck and be taken away. If you understand that, it frees up so many kind of choices for you.
I really like the windows and especially those skylights up here too.
Thank you, yeah. We're in the country. We have spectacular stars out here. You can see the Milky Way, especially in winter, and I'm so glad we did it. But it does get hot in summer, so we eventually had to install some foil blinds, but that kind of solved that problem. And,
yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, now we're just really pleased that we have them.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And I see you've got a projector up here as well.
Yeah, we do. We love TVs and movies a lot, so that was an essential. The size of the screen when it comes down, it takes up the whole width of the house. Dave put in lots of nice speakers, so like it's literally better than a cinema.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it. I think Jurassic Park was the first thing we watched, and it was worth it. It was the best.
Yeah. It's one of the real treats of the house, actually. Like I really love watching movies in here.
It's one of our favourites.
Yeah.
Storage under the bed as well.
Yeah. When we started talking about like the base, we were really conscious about using every inch of it for storage. So there's shelves all down the side, there's 2 at the front, and then there's a 4 bin train down the middle, so the part that you wouldn't be able to kind of access from the sides. And so you can just kind of pull it out one by one. So obviously the 4th bin has the least used stuff, and the first
winter
one
bedding and things like
usually has the dog stuff because they sleep up here with us.
Yeah.
That's got to be tight.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I kind of wish we'd built the house a little wider so we could have a king bed. Dave had only ever had dogs that lived in kennels outside, and so he was going to build a little kennel replica of this house outside.
Right.
But I, who was not a dog person, became a dog person within about 5 seconds and was like, this dog is sleeping on our bed. And I won.
It worked out well. She's quite a delicate dog as well. So, but yeah, no, it's great.
So the house has now been completed for 12 hours, but you have been living here in various stages of completion for 4 years. How is tiny house life working out for you?
The best.
Yeah.
It really got heightened when we'd finished like the main furniture. So when we didn't have to eat our dinner on the stairs, we had a bench. When we had a couch, we had somewhere to sit that wasn't the bed. So like there are iterations of the tiny house I would not like to go back to. But in its current form, like, I don't want to leave. I love this house.
No, the lessons I've learned here about using space and design and things like that, like I'll take it everywhere. It's a really fabulous way to live, and we're able to have our dogs. We're able to have, you know, family stay. We're able to entertain. There's nothing you can't do, and I couldn't recommend it more.
Yeah. Especially having built this home yourselves, you must just have such an incredible sense of pride encapsulated in this home.
Yeah, and like Dave says on an almost daily basis, like, can you believe we built this thing? And like, I can't, but also I can, because I can remember every stage and like every like layer that has gone. I can't believe how many things go into a house, and I will never take that for granted again.
Yeah.
I look at the work I did previously, and I actually can't believe that I did it, and the complexity, like every corner of the house you visit has been visited like, you know, 10, 20 times. And there's a lot of energy and passion goes into a house. And so, like, I mean, to have done it yourself and to live in it, then like, yeah, you really love it, like in a way that you wouldn't otherwise.
This house means like home, and it means a base for us, especially as like we have been traveling for 80% of our relationship. So now we have like a base and a home. It means everything.
I think we all understand what home means to us, but you know, I'm from Ireland. I grew up there, and you know, when talking to family and friends, you know, I would refer to Ireland as home. But here, I would call this home now. You know, like we spoke about the stars earlier, like it's incredible. You know, the Milky Way, you see it on a weekly basis, and so by building this ourselves, by doing all this work ourselves, like you experience it in an incredibly direct and like fundamental way, and that has made this my home because I understand it so intimately and so deeply. It has so much meaning to me because I've done it. There's a connection to it that you can only achieve by doing it yourself. Yeah, so it's our home, and I love it, and I love all of it. Like, it's a beautiful part of the world. It's an incredibly generous country. I have nothing but gratitude for it, and I really adore it.
How did you go budget-wise on this home?
I think about $75,000, but that would be in 2019 dollars, because costs of construction in Australia have gone up, you know, 40 to 50% since then. I mean, that would be to get the house built, the floors down, the walls done, you know, the appliances, but then it would be empty. You know, you would need to provide all the soft furnishings and stuff. But the human effort that has gone into this is gigantic.
Yeah, it can't be understated. You're right about that.
No.
And now that you've completed this home, though, you are just about to embark on a brand new building project. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so we're hoping to build, you know, on this land as well, a conventional house. That's going to start, you know, within the next couple of months. I mean, we're not going to build it. I mean, I can't
We'll
imagine.
be out there every day making sure they do things right, though.
We'll be the best supervisors, but I can't imagine how long it would take me to build it myself. But yeah, and so we're going to do that. But smaller spaces like this, it's almost a lifestyle. The design of the house, the conventional house that we're going to build, has completely changed after living in the tiny home. We know what we want from a house. We know what it needs to do. And so it's been an invaluable learning experience. And I think that house will go great. But yeah, and apply many of the same principles as here. So yeah.
Great. And what's the plan for this house once the new house is built?
I want to come down here every other week.
We literally said that the other day. We will visit this when we. Yeah.
But I think as well, like we were talking about maybe living in this and renting out the little big house. Like we're required to build the bigger house, and so we're not really ready to give up on this house yet. So maybe we'll live in it for a bit longer. But like, it's always going to be here. So family, friends, like whoever would like to come stay here.
When you say you're required to build the big house, you mean in terms of council regulations, as in this home here being parked is really only possible when you have the larger home on the property as well.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so in our local government area, the tiny houses have to be situated with an existing dwelling, and that's really just for planning. So this is farmland. To be fair to them, it's so that they can be sure that, you know, it is appropriate to have like a dwelling on this piece of land for wastewater management and environmental reasons and all that stuff. So the assumption being, if there's an existing house there, well, then the land is appropriate for, you know, residential occupation.
Yeah. Well, I absolutely love what you've created here. This home is just absolutely packed with charm and character. Your land is beautiful, and I just cannot wait to watch it evolve over the years. Thank you so much for sharing it with me.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
My pleasure. Lana and David have created a magical place for themselves to call home. When you build your own home, you have this opportunity to craft a space that truly reflects who you are as a person, and that is precisely what they've done here. This is a space that not only functions so well for them, but is also just so beautifully adorned and decorated with all of these trinkets and things that just truly make this space feel like a home from the moment you walk through the front door. This is beautiful.